Long with 8, makes his move. Long, short jumper, got it!
Sorry, not even looking to shoot. Wait patiently. 5 on the shot clock. Alexander, hold. This is for Y. Leaner up. It is! Oh, what a shot by Danny Y. A two-pointer.
Here comes Owens. They need a 3. He threw it away! He threw it away! Weber State has pulled off the biggest upset in the first day of the NCAA tournament.
10 seconds in the game. Watts drives to the middle. Stripped away over to Clark. 4 seconds. Shot blocked. Saving hands of Subiac. He's going on to the second round. It's Wally's world and welcome to it.
Martin off the pick. Too strong. Nahara. The follow. The putback. It's over. The Sooners have won in the NCAAs for the first time in 9 years.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to CBS Sports' continuing coverage of the road to the Final Four. Fates are decided swiftly during March Madness. Already, we've seen some surprises, some upsets, and maybe some new Cinderellas in the making. Speaking of Cinderella, I'm joined once again by Clark Kellogg. You know, you've been predicting things all tournament long. What's in store tonight?
Well, we had 3 double-digit seeds advance in the earlier portion of our segment of games. I don't think you're going to see that many. There may be a chance for one. I'll let you use your imagination as to who the double-digit seed is that might advance.
Thanks a bunch. Appreciate that. Here's tonight's lineup. Many of you will see in our first set of games, which tip at about 7:40 Eastern Time. Top seed and tournament favorite Duke against Florida A&M. The Blue Devils going for their 3rd title in the 90s. In the second half of our action, which tips about 10 p.m. Eastern Time, many of you will see New Mexico State against defending national champion Kentucky. Now, final scores from earlier today. In Boston, Cincinnati advanced, as did Temple with a win over Kent. In Charlotte, Tennessee moved on. Southwest Missouri State upset Wisconsin. In New Orleans, Utah a winner. Miami of Ohio, the 3rd 10th seed to win in the tournament. And in Milwaukee, UNC Charlotte in overtime over Rhode Island, and Oklahoma by 1 in the upset over Arizona. And the road to the Final Four continues after this word from your local station. Coming up, we'll send some of you to Boston to see the East Region game between Lafayette and Miami. Everyone else will head to Charlotte for that 1 versus 16 matchup between Florida A&M and Duke. For those of you expecting the Evansville, Kansas game, we'll get you to your tip at around 7:50. For those slated to see Mount St. Mary's against Michigan State, we'll get you to the start of that game at 7:55. Enjoy the games, everyone, here on CBS.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Isuzu, Bud Light, Conseco, and by Adams Golf.
Welcome to the Fleet Center in Boston, home of the East Region, and oh, it's been a busy day. Tonight's session will start with Lafayette, champions of the Patriot League, against Miami of the Big East.
A chance for you to listen in as Mickey Clayton chatted with his team, Florida A&M. There may never have been a greater underdog in the history of this event, but that then is part of the charm of the NCAA championship. Tonight, Florida A&M takes on the top-ranked Duke Blue Devils. Mickey Clayton in his 3rd full year, actually 3.5, and he will start for his 12-18 Florida A&M Rattlers. The following 5. Kendrick Green, Kevin George, Morris Scott, Monroe Pippins, and Travis Grant. And on the other bench, in his 19th season as the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, Mike Krzyzewski. And the top seed in the country will start Chris Carrawell, Shane Battier, Elton Brand, William Avery, and for the third time this season, the second game in a row, Corey Maggette. Trajan Langdon unable to go tonight. Injured his right foot against Virginia in the ACC tournament, sat out the final game and will not play, we are told, this evening.
Well,
Langdon.
Trajan is one of the best shooters in college basketball. He's solid on defense, good ball handler, and got great work ethics.
Gene Monge, Mike Cyphers, Milt Stowe. With Al McGuire, I'm Vern Lundquist, and we are at the Charlotte Coliseum. Underneath, rejected by Corey Maggette.
That could have been goaltending.
Instead, it's the 216th block of the season for the Blue Devils. Florida A&M 12 and 18. This is Morris Scott. Monroe Pippin's the leading scorer on this team. Shot no good. In the corner, William Avery for Duke. Left side, Carrawell. Quickly out on the perimeter to Avery for three. On the season, Avery with 39% from three-point range.
Put pressure up court. Anytime you have a big advantage, you want to get rid of the team in the first 8 minutes or at least in the first half if possible.
First turnover. And Maggette dishes right side. 6-0.
He might have to come out of the man-to-man and go to his own.
Carrawell. Loose ball. Here comes Duke. Carrawell dishes back to Maggette. Offensive foul.
Maggette wanted Carrawell to float the ball up for a dunk and alley-oop, and he didn't do it. And that's how come he lost his balance and charged.
6-0 the score in the early going, just under 90 seconds played so far.
You hear the kid, he wanted the ball up high to go over. He obviously charged in. Excellent call.
Now the Rattlers of Florida A&M out of Tallahassee. Entered the MEAC tournament as a 7th seed. Long effort. Got it! Ooh, Monroe Pippins.
Pippins hits his first one. Where's number 23? So he got part of Pippen and part of Michael Jordan.
Monroe Pippins, the leading scorer on the Rattler squad. Here's the entry pass. And a foul called on the Rattlers.
Too much hands that time by George. Kevin George came down.
That's his first foul. Shane Battier goes to the free throw line. On the season, 73%. That one rattles home. 8-3 Duke. Little scoop shot, no good. Kept alive. Underneath by Green, and a foul called on Duke. And Mickey Clayton's going to his bench. He has a limited bench. 10 players suited up, but only 8 expected to play because of injury. This is Frank Oliver Jr. getting ready to come on the floor. Kendrick Green gets the burst. And Maggette will rest for Duke.
Solid pressure up court, man-to-man.
Nate James comes on for Duke as Maggette picks up his second foul. Avery, James. Into the lane for three. Want to advise those of you who are anticipating the Evansville, Kansas game. That one's coming up in just a few moments. We'll take you to that game momentarily. Traveling. Duke 3 of 3 on threes and a 6-point lead in the early going. Alley-oop. Elton Brand out of bounds. Duke to throw it in. Derek McGee comes on, replacing Kendrick Green for Florida A&M. McGee, a senior out of Jackson, Mississippi. Underneath the Brand, foul. They go to the line. The only loss of the season for the Blue Devils came in Alaska, the Great Alaska Shootout. Cincinnati, a last-minute basket. That trip taken in part to thank Trajan Langdon for his contribution to Duke basketball. He is a native of Anchorage, Alaska. And from that point on, the Blue Devils fell to the 4th in the country that week after the loss to Cincinnati. They were 4th for a week, then 3rd, then 2nd for 8 weeks as Connecticut held on to the #1 spot. They have been number 5 since UConn lost its first game to Syracuse.
Well, when they came back from Alaska, coach was upset with Brand's play, and they didn't start him the next 2 ball games.
Greg Gumbel in New York. Duke up top of Florida A&M. We'll keep track of that game. But those of you awaiting Evansville against Kansas, it's time to get you to the tip-off of the game in the Louisiana Superdome down in New Orleans. Evansville against Kansas. Jim Nantz and Billy Packer are there.
Thank you, Greg. We're ready to go now. Evansville out of the Missouri Valley Conference against Kansas, fresh off its victory at the Big 12 tournament last week. Later tonight, Kentucky will be taking on New Mexico State, while Miami University advanced today behind 43 from Wally Zerbiak, and the 2nd seed, the Utes, won here as well. Jim Nantz and Billy Packer courtside here in New Orleans. And Billy, you know, last Sunday on the selection show, we were talking about how the Missouri Valley Conference got just as many teams as the ACC into the tournament, 3, and they're already 2-0 with 2 stunning wins.
Not bad. Louisville out by Creighton, and of course Wisconsin out by Southwest Missouri. A solid league up and down here, Jim.
So don't take Evansville lightly. They won the regular season title by 2 games, and they're led by Marcus Wilson. What about his game?
Well, Marcus Wilson is a very unusual basketball player to me. Not that athletic, but he knows how to score. Great pure shooter. Number 2 scorer all time at Evansville, a school that's got a storied basketball history.
Now for Kansas, Eric Chenoweth, just a sophomore, their leading scorer and rebounder.
He's coming on really strong and may turn out to be the best center they've ever had since Wilt.
Wow, that's saying a lot. And Chenoweth, big man today for Kansas, we expect. And what about the Jayhawk motion we're going to be seeing?
Well, here's an interesting thing. Chenoweth at the top of the key right here. You normally think of a postman buried down low, but look at what Roy Williams does to get him open. Sets a screener on a back screen through. Now there's going to be a back screen for Chenoweth. So instead of setting him down low, they set him up high, but get him in perfect position for the low post action. Here's the movement. Clears out a side, then there's the back screen. Now he's right down in there low and finishes up beautifully.
Well, the Purple Aces, directed by Jim Cruz in his 14th year. This is the 4th time he's taken his team to the big dance. And the Aces go with Snow, Seitz, all freshmen in the Missouri Valley Conference. And there's Marcus Wilson's 2nd all-time score at Evansville. Roy Williams, 11th year, 2 Final Fours in the 90s, more wins by the Kansas program in the 90s than any other school. Nick Bradford with TJ Pugh. Chenoweth was all Big 12 tournament selection last week, but the freshman who's come on, Jeff Boschee, was the Big 12 tournament most valuable player. And Ryan Robertson, the senior, who's been so big through the years for the Jayhawks. Bonnie Bernstein is also with us. Let's check in with Bonnie right now.
Hi, Jim. Just touched base with Roy Williams, and he said, you know what? You got to give Evansville credit. He thinks they're just as good of a shooting team as Kansas is. He said the way we're going to have to beat them tonight is with our size and our defense, Jim.
Well, Bonnie, funny, you make a good point, because this Evansville team, all 5 starters shoot better than 50% from the field. That is a rarity.
And Jim, they shoot 50% as a team from the field, which is very unusual in this day and age.
Meanwhile, for Kansas, 23 of the last 24 Jayhawk opponents have not shot 50%.
Sometimes stats do lie. Evansville also from the foul line shoots 77%. So it just goes to show you there's some pure shooters here. It's not just in the offensive sets that they shoot well.
Kansas a 6th seed for the first time since '88 when it won the national championship. Evansville an 11 seed, and those 2 teams from this conference, 10s and 12s, already advancing. Boshi with a 3, and Snow with a good box out.
Didn't waste any time at all. And Begley down in there has been brought in that starting lineup to play Chenoweth, gives him a little bit more size.
Begley, 3-point shot.
Nice block out by Pugh.
The freshman, Boshi to Bradford. To the left wing, and he lost control of it. Lost his footing.
A little bit too quick tempo right here for Kansas to get this thing started. They need to take some time, get some decent looks. Stanton, good solid ball handler. Doesn't look to shoot much, just initiate the offense.
The jumper in and out for Snow, and Chenoweth pulls it away for the Hawks.
And nobody within 12 feet for an offensive rebound for Evansville.
Chenoweth was wide open. There he is. And mistimed his jump.
Actually should have had that, Jim.
Kansas defense has really come on here. That's a big reason why they won the Big 12 tournament. Wilson, their leading scorer, hits a 3.
Now Robertson made a decision as to whether to go over or underneath the screen. Picked to go underneath, and Wilson just drained it. Too good a shooter to let that wide open. That looks like a replay of what we saw with Zerbiak earlier in the day.
Pugh with the basket for Kansas.
Good change off the pass by Seitz, but
lovingly refer to themselves as the Flintstones.
And the heart and soul of that team, no, it's not Fred, it's not Barney, it's Martine Cleaves. The co-player of the year in the Big Ten has really done an excellent job of directing this ball club. He can really get it done. Look for him to lead Michigan State in this game.
Morris Peterson is the leading scorer for this team. He's not even a starter, and he's one of the Flintstones as well. The flip side, what a story. 45-year head man Jim Phelan winning his 800th career game, joining an elite group, and he got it done as a 6th seed in his own conference tournament championship, winning his way into the NCAA tournament. He said it was an awesome feeling.
It meant a great deal, and along with the 800, hey, it was like a triple header. You know, the conference championship, the NCAA bid, and the 800th win. I couldn't believe that it happened.
There you see the select group: Adolph Rupp, Clarence Big House Gaines, and Dean Smith. I'm sure you could draw a line of comparison for these young men to connect with a man of legendary status in the industry like Phelan.
Yeah, and coaching and talking to Coach Phelan yesterday, he reminded me so much of my college coach, Coach Smith, because he really knows the X's and O's, but that's not what it's all about. It's about nurturing young men and preparing them for life after they leave the university. That's what I admire about Coach Phelan.
Here are the lineups, including his. He has Melvin Whitaker, an outstanding story, freshman who's getting a second chance, along with Robert Balgach, Tony Hayden, and Gregory Harris. Aaron Herbert rounds out his starting 5. Peterson, Klein, Smith, Bell, and Cleaves will get the call for Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. 15-1 in the Big Ten Conference, Big Ten tournament champions, tutored under Judd Heathcote, waited his turn, and what a remarkable job he has done. The officials for tonight's game, the veteran Larry Rose, Rich Sanfilippo, and Mike Wood. You know, I look at this game and you start talking of 16 seeds and usually the Herculean task in front of them. But even though this club was 15-14 for Jim Phelan, his is a very talented front line 16 seed in that Whitaker, who played, of course, at Oak Hill Academy, has seen some time as a big league player, was a highly touted prospect. He, along with Newton Gale, a senior who transferred from Niagara, you see there, players that can make a difference if they can just make some shots early.
That's true, and these are players that aren't afraid to play the game. They don't mind mixing it up. They don't mind that they're underdogs, but Whitaker and players like Gale and Harris will play, and that's what you want to see. This should be a very strategic game for Mount St. Mary.
And they will rely heavily on their guard play because Gregory Harris is another young man out of DeMatha High School, played for Morgan Wooten. So he's seen some pressurized situations and arguably could play in just about anybody's league. He will be given the task of having to contain the All-America Martine Cleves. What you'll notice from the Spartans is that they are a team without the dynamic acrobatic front line, but they play quality position basketball and dominate the boards.
Well, historically, Michigan State has played great team basketball, and that's what they're doing here today. They really collapse in the paint. They don't allow a lot of soft 5- and 6-footers. So this is a team that really keeps it congested on the defensive end.
Aaron Herbert off the tip, controls it for Mount St. Mary's. Right away, the dump down to Whitaker. He's got game. Originally signed with Virginia. His story will be told as this evening progresses. It's a complicated one, but Mount St. Mary's giving him a second chance. Smith. Well, right away, Antonio Smith, the senior from Flint, known for his offensive board work, ties the game.
Well, tip ball, I believe, is going to be critical for Mount St. Mary not to try to get into a fast tempo, even though Michigan State doesn't run as much. They're better athletes than Mount St. Mary, so watch out for the tempo.
Tony Hayden, another senior, co-captain for this team, runs into trouble and turns it over. Cleves always aware of where his teammates are. Smith tripped that time, sort of stumbled out of the gates. An unforced error by the veteran Spartan.
It's a lot to be said about catching the ball and gathering yourself without trying to put the ball up too quickly. Sometimes you lose it, as did Smith.
Gregory Harris gets the roll. 4-2, Mount St. Mary's.
Well, Mount St. Mary's not afraid to post up their little people. Whoever flashes in the lane and gets position will receive the ball.
Whitaker. Understand, with his presence on the floor, Michigan State has some matchup difficulties, James.
They sure do. At 6'10", Whitaker creates a lot of problems because he's a good rebounder, and once he gets going offensively, gains a lot of confidence.
There's the pop out by Klein. Good look inside. Nice work defensively. Well, Balgach really made him work for that one.
Well, Balgach from Yugoslavia was not afraid to go up and go for the block. But Michigan State doing a good job of sending back picks to free up players underneath.
Antonio Smith has 4. Chippy missed inside by Hayden. Stays with it. A little bit of nerves there for that young man. This is the grandest stage that Mount St. Mary's could ever play on. Klein knocks down a tray.
Klein, really a pretty good perimeter shooter, likes to spot up on the transition. And once he gets his feet set, he's a pretty good perimeter shooter, shooting 37% from behind the arc.
Whitaker. They've been a little quick with shots. Last couple of trips down. Cleves. Klein keeping it alive again. The offensive board work for Michigan State. They average 5.5 more offensive rebounds than their opposition, James, whereas Mount St. Mary's averages 3.5 less offensive rebounds than theirs. So if Jim Phelan's team is knocked out early, it'll be because of the inability to rebound.
And Michigan State sends 4 players to the board just about every time. Martine Cleves is usually the player back for defensive balance, but you're going to see 4 green shirts, green and white, meaning Michigan State going to the offensive boards. Gregory
Harris got that foul. Mount St. Mary's staying in a zone. Sometimes that only helps the opposition get good offensive rebounding position. There's an air ball. Hayden brings it out of there, gives it up to Gregory Harris.
Well, Gregory Harris, as you stated, is well schooled. Having played for the Mather, it's like having a coach on the floor. Good savviness, good player to recognize what the defense is doing and set up an offense.
Right on cue, Gregory Harris. Makes it a 7-6 game. He has 4 at Mount St. Mary's 6. Another takeaway. Herbert giving it up. Oh, Harris outrunning Michigan State down the floor.
But Mount St. Mary going to try to sucker Michigan State into this zone. They want them to throw it in there where they can utilize their quick hands and get some steals and force some shots like they just did and get the rebound, and then they're off and running.
Harris is in the groove. He finds Whitaker. Count it. And a foul. Well, he said he could play with anybody, meaning Whitaker and this young man, Gregory Harris. Here's an example.
Well, Gregory Harris doing an excellent job of getting the ball to Whitaker. Now, here's the previous possession on the fast break. Great execution. Aaron Hubert delivering the ball to Gregory Harris, excuse me.
Well, outstanding 7-0 run for the Mount, and they lead by 4.
Hurricanes nearly got the three-point opportunity.
They have a very good moving offense right there as he keeps him moving back and forth as he gets his opening as he came around the right side, split the defense, almost put in a nice finger roll there.
Number 32, Brian Ehlers at the line, shooting 2.
Ehlers with a couple of free throws. For nonstop tournament action with live scores and updated brackets in the tournament tracker, go to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online and enter the keyword CBS Sportsline. The place to be. Ehlers now 3 of 4 from the line. So Ehlers will take a break, and Fran O'Hanlon will substitute.
Got the freshman Kuberka coming in for the player of the year, Ehlers.
Michael Kuberka. 14-11 Lafayette. Jennings, little scoop pass low, kicks it back out. James launches up the shot. Rebounds the miss. Boy, triple team on that baseline. Jennings spins, Haynes fires, and the rebound goes to the freshman, Kuberka.
Well, Lafayette is doing a very good job of collapsing, though. Anytime the ball is in their area, they'll be able to put it on through.
Rejected nicely. Salmon's got up there to reject the shot from Klaus.
Matter of fact, both teams are playing some excellent defense as the ball goes to the basket. Coming right on through. Nice pass, right, Harms, right over to Klaus. He takes it on up, and Salmons comes right on over. Great timing by the Miami forwards. Watch the play right here. Coming on through as he gets a nice pass. It was almost going to be an easy basket, but the good rotation prevented it.
20th block for Salmons. In the ball game is Brian Burke, number 13 for Lafayette. Burke, baseline, little double pump. Had a good look, was Klaus, but crowded.
Crowded play right in there, too. Nash Avalo just took up a lot of room, and he just could not get the ball to the basket.
Hemsley rips it for 3.
Now make sure Lafayette now has to make sure and cover the shooters. Now, you can't leave a guy like Hemsley just open to take a pure open jumper.
Well, they're so good from the three-point line. That's Miami's 220th consecutive game. They have knocked down at least 1 3. Short on the jump shot. James with the easy rebound. And he'll walk it up. Lafayette and Miami tied at 14. Jennings feeds, three-point shot goes down, and Miami takes their first lead as Hemsley hits back-to-back threes. 6 for the junior out of Baltimore.
And Craig, that was a long one too, a very long one.
All of a sudden, Lafayette starting to go a little bit cold from the floor. You can see the confidence building a little bit on Miami. Good patience on the offensive side. Little double pump. Wembley, soft touch for the big man.
Went on up, right up on through too. He hit a little pump fake, didn't get a reaction from Klaus, and put it right on up.
He's got those size 17s. I think you're anybody down. From the corner, Burke, short. Last touched by Miami. It'll be Lafayette basketball. And a timeout. 7:59 left in the opening half. Miami on top of Lafayette by 5.
Jumper, Snow short this time.
Snow, a good shooter, had a very good tournament.
Nick Bradford straddling that midcourt line. And into Chenoweth, doubled up.
Boy, he's got to realize with that double team coming, the pass is the throw opposite.
Snow knocked it out.
Great doubling down. One of the things, Evansville may give up a little size, but they double down nicely on the low post.
Another timeout on the floor. 26-19, Aces.
There's any way possible that Duke could not, even if they tried, not win by at least 35 points. This could be the record. Now, the record has been Purdue last year. I think they won by 38 points.
Well,
against Delaware, excuse me.
Right, 4 members of the Florida A&M team had a session with the media yesterday afternoon. One of them was asked, what would happen if you won? How would your life change? And he popped up and said, well, I think we'd agree on Oprah, Jerry Springer, Jay Leno, and Letterman. Maybe all in the same week.
Well, did they have a fight with Jerry Springer?
Right. Victories I've won. Next. 38-13.
Avery, unbelievable defense that time, created the war.
Can't turn your back on him because he's too strong. He's such a great leaper, and he gets a lot of offensive rebounds.
Number 1 in the Big Ten in offensive boards. And there is a discussion Jim Phelan is having with Mike Wood, one of our officials. May have to do with the basket actually counted, and if it did go in. I think there was a discussion about that. Obviously the basket was made, so it's 14 all.
Well, here's the play again, and
that was the fault of Keon, who didn't keep his dribble alive. Almost throws it away again. The Blue Devils, even without Trajan Langdon, having no trouble with a 16th seed tonight. Nice cut.
Snow lays it up, misses the lay-in. Kansas can take the lead. Had been down by as many as 11. Lang gives it up to Chenoweth, and the Jayhawks are in front.
London with a defensive play, Jim, a steal and a layup, and then a nice dish. Excellent 30 seconds off that bench.
7 different players have scored for Kansas. 12 unanswered points.
Evansville has got to get Snow untrapped as well.
Snow is 0 for 4 from the field.
Snow had 11, 12, and 13 points in the conference tournament.
Really 2 on the shot clock. Chenoweth with the steal. Gives it up to Bradford. 2-on-1.
Nice.
Back to Gregory. And Kansas has now made 9 straight from the field.
You know, Kansas has some pretty good finishers. Gregory, an excellent finisher. Bradford can finish. They've got to get somebody other than Wilson to score. And I think it's Snow, the guy they've got to get open here sooner or later.
Keon gives it up to Wilson.
Bradford just won't let him have the ball in scoring position.
Wilson had 18 points in the first 8 minutes. Has been shut out the last 4.5. That's traveling.
Keon in a little bit over his head in this game.
It's all coming undone for Evansville in this stretch. 14 unanswered.
15s at one, but never a 16 over a top seed since we expanded to 64 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and I'm almost sure that, you know, 64 teams in the Big Dance, a lot of exposure on television now. You're getting better players at some of these not so popular schools.
Again, great work on the glass by Morris Peterson. Out of the timeout, Hudson, the cutter, lost it. Pretty good look. The pass from Charlie Bell, number 14, sophomore from Flint, Michigan. Well, the Spartans had a tremendous season. One that dreams are made of. Their 13th NCAA tournament appearance. 29-4, earning the automatic bid by virtue of winning just the second Big Ten tournament championship. I think the jury is still out on the impact of the tournament at the Big Ten level, where Big Ten teams are concerned in the NCAA. Out there for Hayden, Tony Hayden. Still looking for his first basket, the senior from Gladwin, Pennsylvania. Doug Davis, number 30 on the floor. On a team that's so guard-laden, it's tough for Davis to get minutes, but he's very athletic. Gets it done on the defensive end as well. Peterson pulls up. That's his game. Gregory Harris has been the story for Mount St. Mary's. 4 out of 5 for him. The rest of the team 2 out of 9. So the point guard has to get it started for Mount St. Mary's. They trail by 5.
Well, they run that flex motion, almost like a passing game, trying to catch the defense off guard. But Whitaker has such a presence early in the game. They might want to go down in the post a little bit more and see if they can free Whitaker up instead of having him on the perimeter.
Granger checks out of the game. Antonio Smith back on the floor along with Charlie Bell, Doug Davis, Antonio Smith. He wants it, Whitaker, but he's being denied by Antonio Smith. And a shot clock violation. Some half-court frustration for Jim Phelan's team.
And it's going to take Gregory Hines a little bit more to draw the angle. Melvin Whitaker has the position, but from the position where Gregory Harris is standing, he really has to create an angle, take a couple more dribbles toward the baseline to feed Whitaker.
There's the pop out. Peterson, soft, and again attacking the glass, the Spartans. Antonio Smith again. There's a steal. Harris on the run. Has Hayden with him and Bethel. And again, the defensive breakup by Davis. Just what we talked of. A young man that runs the floor on the defensive end and should get more minutes. With a lot of teams, he would. Cleaves back in.
But speaking of Doug Davis, last year he actually looked petrified when he had to run the point guard position, and Coach Jeter said, look, I want to work with you a little bit. He's a little bit better ball handler, but like you said, Tim, he is the defender.
Whitaker trying to step through a double team. Now it causes a turnover with the deflection. Harris gives it up to Bethel. Right back to Whitaker. That ended a 4-minute drought. It's just their second field goal in the last 6.5 minutes.
Hey, Mountain, St. Mary's, they have very quick hands. They don't have a lot of size, but they kind of lull you into thinking you can out-dribble them and pass through the paint. Well, from the right side of your screen right here, you see Whitaker getting his position. Nice high percentage shot. Good pass.
He also created his own space there, James. You have to like that as a big man to understand that the spacing's not there. Back off so you can receive the pass. Anna Springer in the game for the first time, number 55 in blue. Senior that transferred from Manhattan. His home is Baltimore. Well, St. Mary's obviously not as deep as the bullish Spartans of the Big Ten. There's a rejection. Antonio Smith coming over again. Frustrating start for Tony Hayden.
Tony Hayden did a good job of going back door, but he ran right into a great shot blocker and Antonio Smith. Sometimes you have to go up and under and use the rim to protect.
I think it's safe to say that regardless of what the score is at halftime, there are going to be a number of fans that look up, see this score 12 minutes deep, and they're going to say, what a story. Even now, loose ball, Bethel comes away with it. And the longer they hang in, James, the more of a threat they become. And Tom Izzo, you can tell just looking at him, he can't believe what's going on. There have been some breakdowns in concentration for the Spartans on the offensive end.
Well, Mount St. Mary's, they're going to make you work on defense. You just aren't going to get anything. Well, as I speak, Mateen Cleaves with his quick hands steals for a potential three-point play.
Whitaker lost sight of the defensive help and a clear pickpocket. Bethel picks up the foul. Cleaves will go to the line for three.
Well, Whitaker's got to be careful when he's around Mateen Cleaves because he drives to the hole, and Mateen Cleaves got a hand in with those quick hands. He's a steals guy. Must be aware. I would clear things out for Whitaker so there's no one around to pick him clean. Whoever Mateen Cleaves' man is, he's got to cut through the lane, take him away from Whitaker so he'll have room to operate in the post.
Whitaker takes the seat for the first time since the game got underway. 7:25 remaining, and he'll get an extra blow with this timeout.
Miami with a 6-point lead over Lafayette. 3:01 before we hit the break at half. And coming up on the Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will get you caught up on all the tournament news, scores, and highlights, plus a live look at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament. That's coming up in just a few minutes right here. Pennzoil at the half. Boy, Miami shooting. Hemsley, 5 of 8. Rest of the Hurricanes, 5 of 17.
That's what it means to have a great player on your basketball team. He sees how the rest of the team is shooting, and he's capable of going out there and doing it himself, and he takes it upon himself to do so and executes.
Well, there's a lot of pro scouts taking a look at this guy. He's got the range as the Hurricanes battle. Bland missed.
That's where the
Hurricanes put it back in.
They do. That's where the puzzle has to be solved, though, to be able to compete with them once that ball goes up on the board. Because it means a possession for Lafayette or a second opportunity for Miami.
Salmons gets his first bucket. Nice feed down low. Ehlers makes it look easy, but give a big salute to Brian Burke, who fed that ball in perfectly. Ehlers now with 7 points for Lafayette.
Excellent pass by Burke.
James up top. 3-second violation, so Lafayette with a chance to chip away.
Oh yeah, very nice backdoor play here. Ehlers goes right back door, and Brian Burke was able to find it too, threading the needle right throughout. Good teamwork and great passing by Lafayette.
Tim Big brings it across midcourt. Really picked away there by Jennings. Ehlers, three-pointer down. Ehlers now at double figures with 10.
Craig, that's some big-time movement, though. They're moving their bodies really well and also getting the basketball in a timely fashion.
Lafayette's cut it down to 3. That's the 41st consecutive game that Brian Ehlers has hit double figures. Remarkable.
That last shot by Ehlers was not an easy shot. He had to move his body really quick, get the ball up fast, because John Salmons was coming for the block, and he put it right in the hole.
3-point Miami lead. Tough double team down on the corner by Lafayette. Back inside, Tyler spins, hangs up a nice soft shot and hits.
Very good, great play by Elton Tyler right there. Grabbed the basketball right in the middle, found the pressure, dribbled away from it, and still was able to put the ball up for 2.
Tyler, only a sophomore, his first bucket, 3 points. Nice head fake. Baseline. Ehlers caught it. Out to Klaus. But look at that defense. Jennings is just like a blanket. 13 on the shot clock. Loose ball. Saved by Big. Up on the table. And it's going to be Lafayette basketball. I tell you, that is pure Jim Rat hustle.
Definitely so. He's on it and playing and not even afraid of anything, too. He wants that ball and got it for his team. Once the ball come over here, you can see me jumping out of the way probably. I was nervous, but still did a great job getting that ball and getting a good opportunity for his basketball team.
Bro, you still got tremendous reaction time. 3 on the shot clock. Ehlers puts it up off the glass, and it never touched the rim. Shot clock violation. So 50 seconds and some change left here in the half. 5-point lead for Miami. Jennings around Big. And a reach in, and Big knew it. Gave him a little smile like, okay. Well, Miami has been hot of late. They've hit 8 of their last 10 after a slow start from the floor.
Keep raising the level of the stakes, though, and the important factor is can Lafayette continue to follow, continue to raise the level of their game. They have some nice ball movement, good plays. But now Miami's the one applying the pressure, and they're going to have to respond.
1-1 for Jennings. Scoreless so far. His first of the night down at College Park, Georgia. He led the Big East in assists. I mean, he's not going to score a lot of points for Leonard Hamilton, about 5 a game, but he dishes out nearly 6 assists a game. And so far, 5 tonight just in this half.
You get an opportunity to play with guys like Tim James and Helmsley and Bland down low. You get an opportunity to pass some guys who are going to put it in the bucket for you. So good heads up for Jennings.
34-27 Miami. Big hands off to Ehlers. Shot clock is off. 17-16. Lafayette looking for the last open shot. Big to Cole. Burke. Baseline jumper. Boy, the patience pays off. They knock it down. And Burke, the freshman, his first bucket at the buzzer. No! Well, what a fine first half. 34-29 Miami. Back to New York. And Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Greg, so Lafayette gets the last bucket of the first half. Miami 34-29. Let's switch you now to the Charlotte Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. Florida A&M trailing Duke. Let's join Vern Lundquist and Al McGuire.
59-20 Duke up with 31 seconds to go. First half favored by 45 coming in. It was very competitive, seriously, for the first 5 minutes. 17-13. Then the height and the speed began to show. Blue Devils a 23-0 run, and they are having their way now with the 16th seeded Florida A&M Rattlers.
They have a 39-point lead. That ties the record for the NCAA tournament. Owned by Purdue. They won by 39 points a couple of years ago against the Fighting Blue Hens from Delaware.
Delaware first-round losers to Tennessee here in the first game today.
Tight ball game, and Tennessee just got hot the last couple of minutes and won.
Feed underneath. Domzowski with the block. Colbeck can't get it up before the halftime buzzer sounds. Pennzoil at the half. The Blue Devils shot 66% in the first 20 minutes. Greg and Clark will be along in just a moment.
By Pugh, what a half. Looking for some help now. London. Tipped around. Robertson back out high. Three-pointer.
Wilson's open on the side. Took too long to get him the ball. He was ready to shoot.
Purple Aces down 5. Wilson now with 20. Right on his average. Wilson of Evansville. And Bradford Smith lays in. It looked like Jim Cruz for a moment there was double teaming.
He's playing a little defense.
And a block against Robertson.
What we see, Jim.
Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Welcome once again to Pennzoil at the Half, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. Let's send you out now to the Superdome in New Orleans. First round action in the Midwest. Evansville trails Kansas by 2. Just a minute to play in the first half. Jim Nantz and Billy Packer.
The Superdome already a sight today of one thriller. Miami University handing Washington a 1-point loss for the second straight year in the NCAAs. Last year, UConn ended the Huskies run, Washington Huskies. And today, thanks to the play of Wally Zerbiak's 43 points, Miami advanced. Here, Kansas, the 6th seed, tangling with the 11th seed out of the Missouri Valley Conference, Evansville. And Kansas leads now with that free throw by the freshman Jeff Boschee, leads by 3. But earlier, they were down 11 as Marcus Wilson of Evansville scored 18 points in the opening 8 minutes.
Jim, this has been a contrasting game right here. Kansas doing a tremendous job with points in the paint. Evansville primarily scoring on the perimeter.
Utah already won 2, and they'll take on the Red Hawks in the next round. Utah getting a big second half performance by Hano Metala. He had 19 in the second half as they won by 22.
Not Wilson again. That was about the cleanest shot opening he had in the entire first half.
Well, Wilson made his first 6 field goals in the game.
Look at how they're not guarding the entry passer at the top of the key. He's going to have to take up a little bit of space, as Gregory did right there.
Gregory, nice little dribble move to free himself.
The man's not going to guard you, and you're standing at the top of the key. Get a little closer.
Now the Aces can take the final shot if they want it. They're down 7.
Down 7 from where they were just less than 30 seconds ago, Jim. They're just down 2.
Yep, 42-40 exploded awfully fast to 47-40. Stanton with 10. Wilson with 5. Long range jump. Snow got it.
That was where he extended way beyond where the defense wants to play somebody. Great shot by Snow.
Well, Evansville scores 6 points more in the half than Oklahoma State did in the game in the Big 12 final against Kansas.
Good job by Snow by stepping back beyond that 3-point line.
Kansas leads in a shootout. Let's go back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Jim, thank you. Make no mistake, the Purple Aces can shoot the basketball. They trail Kansas by 4 at halftime. Meanwhile, at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, first round in the Midwest, Mount St. Mary's trails top seed Michigan State. Let's take you to Tim Brando and James Worthy.
The Mountaineers of Mount St. Mary's trailing by 8. Nice work inside. The birthday boy, Charlie Bell, who turned 20 today. Sophomore from Flint, Michigan, knocks that one through. 10-point game, largest lead, first double-digit lead for Michigan State. Between Whitaker and Harris, Gregory Harris and Melvin Whitaker, 18 of Mount St. Mary's 21 points. Gale trying to alley-oop to Whitaker to no avail. Well, clearly, for them to be successful, they have to funnel their offense through numbers 44 and 11 in blue. There's a bump. Hand check. Be whistled against Doug Davis against Aaron Herbert. The brackets in the Midwest region. Surprise, surprise, Oklahoma knocking off the 4th seed Arizona. Wildcats were a 4 seed when they won the national title in '97, but not this time around. And UNC Charlotte forced to overtime. Clearly 2 of the outstanding games of the first round of the NCAAs in '99 played right here. Terrence Wilson is coming to the game, and the Newton Gale takes the seat. Doug Davis leaves for Michigan State. Herbert, an outstanding free throw shooter, 75%. Played at Calvert Hall in high school, a sophomore. 22nd timeout.
So Michigan State with a 31-23 lead, and they are just under 3 minutes to play in the first half in that Midwest action. Let's get you caught up on other games being played at the Fleet Center in Boston. Lafayette trailing Miami at the half, 34-29. Miami coach Leonard Hamilton, Lafayette coach Fran O'Hanlon talking before Leopard sophomore Tim Big got into the action.
That's Johnny Hemsley there, knocking it down from three-point range. Mark it up again. He had a handful of those in the first half.
Johnny Hemsley with a bunch of three-pointers. In fact, raining threes in the Fleet Center.
Catching fire.
And at this point, it's a 34-29 lead. The Hurricanes, the number 2 seed in the East, with the lead on Lafayette. At Charlotte, North Carolina, Florida A&M. Well, this was a close game early on, but then Duke got into a rhythm that you just hate to see if you're the opposition. Trajan Langdon not playing on the sideline with a sprained foot. A&M, a valiant effort early. Morris Scott, long three-pointer, but here comes Duke.
On a roll, Elton Brand carving out space inside.
And Elton Brand, the pass to Chris Carrawell, who will slam it home for a couple more. He finished off in the midst of a 23-0 run. Duke was up 30-13 at that point. 59-20 is the score at halftime. A timeout here, and we will continue to ride along the road to the Final Four in just a moment.
Pennzoil at the Half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Mateen Cleaves goes to the hole, and there's Peterson just in the mix, not really in a great position to get the ball, but just being there, getting the deflection and getting his hand on it. Great job by Morris Peterson.
Aaron Herbert, who has been able to blow past Charlie Bell on a couple of occasions and pick up fouls. At the free throw line.
Aaron Herbert is quick off the dribble, and he could create problems if you try to pressure him, because that means you got to body up on him, and that's going to create a foul. I would lay off him a little bit and see if he can knock down the jumper, because so far he's proven to be able to blow by who's ever guarding him.
Got one of the free throws and another turnover. Breakdowns and mental lapses on the offensive end for the Spartans, and that's always a problem when you're coaching a number 1 seed against a 16 seed. Some of that has been brought on, though, by Mount St. Mary's changing defenses. Harris, tough shot. Granger brings it down. Again, another scoring drought and another turnover by Michigan State. And Tom Izzo's face tells it all.
Well, a lot of people look at A.J. Granger and they say that's his fault, but it's important that the point guard comes back and get the ball. Mateen Cleaves on the transition that time, no matter where you are, if you got to come back 4 or 5 times, you will.
Coming up on 1:40 to play in the first half there. Welcome, everyone. Pennzoil at the half. We will have scores and highlights for you. Clark Kellogg and I will be along with that and more in just a moment.
One field goal in the last 7.5 minutes. 0 for their last 4 minutes. Pennzoil at the half coming up. Back at our New York studios, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg, dapperly dressed, much as that man Jim Phelan. Although I haven't seen a bow tie from those guys. Have some live look-ins at a number of other games, including another number 1 seed, Duke, and Florida A&M in Charlotte. Our friends Vern Lundquist and Al McGuire are there. Our tournament summary sounds like a broken record in recent NCAAs. Look at the double-digit seeds that advance. A number 13, a number 14. All number 10 seeds have advanced. Wisconsin's low point record for first and second rounds only, just 32 points. And Wally Zerbiak has outscored 4 NCAA tournament teams on his own.